You won't believe what just happened to Bahati, Kenya. In a shocking twist that has left the entire nation talking, Bahati breaks down in tears after being accused of clout chasing with his tribute song to Raila Odinga. But that is not all. What he did next left even his fans speechless. Moments after the backlash, Bahati has changed his Instagram profile, replaced his own picture with Raila's, and posted a heartbreaking message titled, "Dear Baba, Baba, we have seen the grave, we cannot believe you are gone. The king has died, but the crown will forever live." And just hours later, Bahati was seen holding a candlelight vigil in Eldoret, proving this wasn't clout, this was grief. But wait until you hear what he revealed next. The tears streaming down his face told a story no one expected when Kenyan gospel sensation Bahati broke down while defending his tribute to fallen icon Raila Odinga. The internet has exploded, but what you're about to discover is going to change everything you thought you knew about what really happened that night in Eldoret. This is not just another celebrity controversy. This is the story of a man pushed to his breaking point, a nation in mourning, and a candlelight vigil that proved the doubters wrong. On October 2025, he was still reeling the death of Raila Odinga, the people's president. Bahati wasn't a stranger to controversy. In fact, the gospel-turned-secular artist had built a reputation that preceded him, a reputation that would come back to haunt him in ways he never imagined. Just weeks before Raila's death, Bahati had been embroiled in a devastating scandal involving another fallen star, Shalkido, the Gengeton artist who died after a tragic motorcycle accident. The wounds were fresh, the trust was broken. So when Bahati released Bye Bye Baba, his tribute song to Raila Odinga, the court of public opinion had already made its verdict. Over 900,000 views on the first days meant nothing to critics who saw only one thing: one opportunity, another tragedy exploited, and another headline grabbed. "He's doing it again," they whispered, "using someone's death for views." The pattern seemed clear and the judgment was swift. The condemnation on Bahati was absolutely very quick. So yesterday being the final resting day for Raila Odinga, a notification appeared on thousands of phones simultaneously. Bahati had changed his Instagram profile picture. In the celebrity world, this might seem trivial, just another day, just another image, but when people opened the app and saw what Bahati had done, the collective gasp could be felt across social media. God knows Bahati's own face, and in its place Raila Amolo Odinga. Not a collage, not a tribute edit with both their faces, just Raila, just Baba, and the act was unprecedented, bold and deeply symbolic. For a celebrity of Bahati's caliber, someone whose brand depended on visibility and personal identity, to completely replace his image with someone else's, it was unheard of. But it was the caption that truly broke very many people's heart. "Dear Baba," it began, followed by the teary-eyed emoji that would become the symbol of his grief. The words that followed were raw, unfiltered, aching with pain and disbelief. "This is 10 years ago. The first time we met in music, you knew me as Bahati. In politics, you referred to me as Mathew from Mathare. The last 72 hours had been like a dream to many. It's still very unbelievable. Baba, we have seen the grave. We cannot believe you are gone. We will miss your political charisma. We will miss Tinga the Enigma. We will miss the people's president. The king has died, but the crown will live forever." 72 hours, 3 days since the world learned about Raila's passing. 3 days of accusation, doubt, and public trial. 3 days of being called a fraud, a clout chaser, and a man capitalizing on his death. And here was his response. Not a defensive rant, not a clapback or a viral comeback. Just this, a complete surrender of his digital identity to honor a man he claimed he loved. The post has accumulated over 11,000 likes in just 14 hours, and the comment section transformed. Where once stood armies of critics, now came a wave of people saying, "Rest in peace Baba, we will miss you, Tinga the Enigma." But the skeptics remained. Is this real or is this another publicity stunt? The answer would come from an unexpected place, from a stage and from a crowd, from a sea of flickering lights in a city 300 kilometers away from Nairobi. Because while Kenya debated online, Bahati was already on a journey to Eldoret, a journey that would culminate in a moment so powerful. Yesterday night in Eldoret, we did a special candle lighting for Jacom. Tinga the Enigma, Bahati will later post, alongside images that captured the solemn beauty of the event. Rest in peace, Raila. We will miss you, Baba. The venue transformed. What had been a concert had become a cathedral of grief. Strangers held hands, tears flowed freely, political affiliations melted away as people from all walks of life, ODM supporters and critics alike, united in their shared loss. The candles flickered like prayers offered to the sky, each flame a memory of hope, a recognition that someone irreplaceable had been lost. Social media user SashaQueen8693 commented with fire emojis, her way of acknowledging the power of what she'd witnessed. But the story doesn't end here, because in the days that followed, something unexpected has happened, something that would vindicate Bahati in ways that words never could. Let's talk about patterns, because if we are honest, that's what this whole controversy was really about. The pattern people believed they saw in Bahati, a pattern of exploitation, of using tragedy for personal gain, and of chasing relevance at any cost. But what if we've been looking at the wrong pattern? Go back to the photograph, the one from 10 years ago. Bahati and Raila Odinga, young and old, musician and politician, connected by something more than cameras and photo ops. That meeting wasn't publicized. It wasn't turned into a viral moment. It was just real. Fast forward to the tribute song Bye Bye Baba. It wasn't a rushed production thrown together to capitalize on trending news. The lyrics showed depth, knowledge of Raila's history, understanding of his political journey. The number of tortures, bado sijataja nayo, alluding to Raila's detention and suffering under the authoritarian Nyayo era of Daniel Arap Moi. Then came the Instagram profile change, not a post that would disappear in 24 hours, not a story that would vanish, but a complete replacement of his digital identity, his brand, his public face. And for a celebrity in the age of personal branding, this was equivalent to erasing yourself from conversations. So what lesson do we learn here? What do we take away from this story of grief and controversy? Maybe it's this: we need to be slower to judge, quicker to consider context, and more willing to admit when we rush into conclusions. Bahati wasn't perfect, and his story of controversies was real. The accusations about his behavior in other situations may have had merit, but that doesn't mean every action, every tribute, and every expression of emotion is calculated for maximum benefit. The profile picture, it is still changed. The tribute song is still accumulating views, but now met with more understanding comments, and the candlelight vigil, documented in photographs that are circulating, not as evidence of clout chasing, but as powerful moments of collective mourning. And Bahati himself, he has moved forward, still creating, still performing, and still living his life. In a world that increasingly demands we prove our humanity, sometimes the most radical act is simply being human, messy and emotional, imperfect and real. And that ultimately is what Bahati was, what he is, and what we are all. Beneath the accusations and defenses, beneath the performances and suspicions, just human, mourning, remembering, and honoring. Rest in peace, Raila Amolo Odinga. And to Bahati, to everyone who has ever had the grief questioned, the tears doubted, and their authenticity scrutinized, you have the right to mourn in your own way. Don't let anyone take that from you. And that is the truth of the matter. Long after the controversy fades, long after the comment sections move on to their next target, long after their silence of critics confirm what evidence had been showing all along, some grief is just too real to be faked.